Okay, I'm going to do a quick lesson on graphing solution to a system of inequalities. System of inequalities, and this one they refer to as an advanced uh, type of problem. But we are given these two inequalities, and we're to graph the solution on this coordinate plane, and then we are to find and name one point in the solution set. So that's to identify one particular point in the solution set. All right, so in the beginning, we see these two inequalities, both of them in what we refer to as standard form. So it's going to be helpful for us to write these in slope-intercept form. So we'll do that. So I'll start with I'll call this the equation number 1. This will be equation number 2. And so equation number 1, we have 3x plus 2y less than or equal to -4. And we're going to solve for y, putting it in slope-intercept form. So before I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And this adds to give 0. And that leaves only 2y, which is less than or equal to -3x minus 4. So now to solve for y, I will divide by 2. Remember, solving for a variable, you want to get the variable isolated to itself on one side or the other of the equation, or in this case, inequality. So those divide and get 1. So we get y is less than or equal to -3/2 x, and -4/2 is -2. So there's equation 1 solved for y. And we're done with that one. Let's go to equation number 2. Equation number 2, we have -5x plus 4y is greater than -16. So again, we're going to do the same procedure. We're going to add 5x to both sides, trying to isolate the y on the left. So we'll add 5x to both sides. That goes to 0. Then we have 4y is greater than 5x minus 16. So if I divide both sides by 4, then we get 4 divided into 4, we get y greater than 5/4 x minus 4. Now, these two equations, their inequalities, didn't include it, but if, for example, if this were a -2, or if this was a -4, well, that would add another wrinkle to our problem. We'd have to, when we divide by that negative, remember we have to, we would have had to reverse the direction of that inequality symbol, but we didn't have to do that. But I'm reminding you that so that in the future, if you run into that, you will find yourself doing the right thing. All right, so equation number 1 is this one. Equation number 2 converted to slope-intercept form is this one. So before we graph the inequality, we're going to graph this as if it were an equality. So I'm going to notice that, just pretend for the moment that it's an equality. So we have -2 is our -2 is our y-intercept. So we go down here to 2. Sorry, -2. And -3/2 is our slope. So it's a negative slope, so it's going to go generally from the top left to the bottom right. So we'll go down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1, 2, and there's our other point. And we can keep doing that down 1, 2, 3, and over 2, down 1, 2, 3, and over 2. We could also go up a +3 and -2. So because we know, let's see, negative 3 over 2 is equal to negative 3 over 2 or 3 over negative 2. So just realize that. So we can go up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 2, and so forth and so on. So also notice this about the first question. In this first question, or first equation, inequality, this is at less than or equal to. So we're going to need to finally draw the line, and we know we can draw a solid line. So I'm going to grab what I think will be a solid line, and we're going to draw that line. It didn't catch. Let me undo that. Test it. Yeah. Okay, so we are going down here, and I'm going to draw a solid line all the way and extending it to the top. Okay, so there's our first line for equation 1. Now the question is, which side do we shade it on? When we have a less than, you may recall from class, if I said less than, then I'm going to shade essentially, no matter where I am, if this is my line, shade less than, I will shade in the attic, as I say. It's as if this were a roof line. I'm going to shade below the line. So in this case, this is less than or equal, so I'm going to shade this way. And so that describes the solution set, including the line, because the line is solid for that particular inequality. Now, let's work on the other one. On the other, it says, and I'm going to make this a red 2, because we're going to do this in a red color to distinguish it from the other one. So we have negative 4. That's my y-intercept. That's from here. And I have a slope of 5/4. So that means it's a positive slope. So it's going to go from bottom left to upper right. So I can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I can keep doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in this case, notice that we have a inequality, it's just greater than, not greater than or equal, where before we had less than or equal. So this is going to be a dotted line on this side. So we can also extend down here. Let me go down, because again, 5/4 could be thought of as negative 5 over negative 4. So we can go downward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's another point. I'll just dot that line in a little bit. All right, so this remains a dotted line because it's a greater than, not greater than or equal to. Okay, but since it's greater than, like before, if less than we shade below the line, then you know that greater than we're going to shade above the line. So we can shade this direction. Just shade all of this down to this dotted line. And generally speaking, when you see the two equations or two graphs cross one another, you'll get this hash pattern, like a plaid pattern, where the blue and the red are intersecting. So this space, will give you your solution set in here. So I could draw it maybe a little larger. And we'll shade it in purple, let's say, or lavender. So all of this space becomes the solution set. Up to, I want to erase a little bit there. Yeah, so that's better. So that space is where those two intersect, and that's what our solution set would be. And then it says to pick a point in the solution set. So you can pick any point, but we can choose one. For example, looks like -6, 0 right here. -6, 0. I can make that a little darker. -6, 0 right there. So one of the solution could be -6, 0, but there could have been an infinite number of points you could have picked that will give you the answer, but we write our answer -6, 0. Okay, so any questions about that? You may see me on our virtual meeting at 1 o'clock each day. We've changed our meeting time from 2 now to 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Or you can let me know if you want to meet any other time one-on-one. I can visit with you if you need to through Zoom, through the same means. If you'll go to my website at wwilson.pbworks.com, then select Zoom virtual study group, then select the link there under join Zoom meeting, and you will come to this place, to my room for any help you may need. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.